Hello everyone and welcome to this special edition of Campus Convos. I am Denise Lafranzo-Hinaga and I am your host. We have some very special guests. We have Dr. Patricio Quintana and Mr. Donny Gonzalez. Both of you are former presidents of DACC and we are celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. And we are very excited to have you both as guests. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
So, it's been a while since your tenure here. Tell me what it is like for both of you to be back here on campus.
When I turned the curve to come into here, I said, "Hey, I'm home."
Oh, that's sweet.
I'm home. Because Donny and I built this whole complex here.
Well, thank you, Pat. To me, brings a lot of memories, and I told Christy earlier that I parked in the same parking spot that I normally did. You know, that gives you a very comfortable feeling. I looked at my old office, and everything has improved so much. The beauty of this campus is incredible, and everybody should be very pleased with what they're doing.
That is just amazing. After spending so much time here, spending so much time away, and you come back and it's almost like no time has passed in a way.
And it's interesting because since the first year that we opened this campus, we were already making changes. Here in this area, we were changing. We were always constant change.
That's amazing. So it's been a while since both of you served as presidents of DACC, which has gone through many changes, by the way, from DACC for DACC, the branch, and now Donaciano Community College. Tell me, what was your biggest memory that you had while you were serving as leader of the college, and what was your biggest accomplishment?
Did we accomplish anything?
I know Patricio
I know
did.
you both did.
The one thing that I remember the most, and I think that simplifies what I'm going to say, that one summer I interviewed 65 faculty members and hired 17. That fall, our enrollment increased by 500 students. And it was just not what I had done. It was had done previously by Pat. And it was that the developmental studies came to the campus. A lot of the faculty from campus came over here also, but we still hired new faculty, not only for developmental studies, but the 17 also had some vocational students and academic types teachers.
And it seems like, you know, every year we just grow more and more. Looking at the program list, I mean, how many more certificates we've offered, how many more associates do we offer, and how many more classes, and just the wealth of the programs that we offer to students now is just amazing. Do you have any big memories that you remember of your time here?
Well, too many. Probably the most interesting one is separating ourselves from New Mexico State University. Not only separating ourselves from them locally, but legislatively. And of course, Dr. Jerry Burke, was very instrumental in helping me as we went before the legislative committees to say, they're not New Mexico State University, they are the Doñana branch. And so we fought that battle for years. Donny helped because he was in another position at the time. But that was one of the most interesting battles that we had to do. And then the second one was academic. You can't teach that because we already teach this. Example, computers.
Yeah.
You cannot teach computers. Why not? Well, we had to have a big meeting with the big chiefs to prove that we wanted to teach computing using the computer, and they wanted to teach theory. We were not interested in theory. We were interested in teaching computers. And so out of that meeting came permission to go ahead and proceed with the computer system. And all kinds of things developed after that, because when we wanted something, they knew better than to fight us.
Yeah.
And we didn't really want to get into anything that was New Mexico State University. New Mexico State University had its role, and we had our role, and it was difficult for people to understand that many times.
You know, the transition has expanded so much from what Patricio is discussing, that the best example that I have, Patricio, Donny, Alex, we all had trouble passing bond issues and mill levies.
Mm-hmm.
This last week, the bond issue passed by 71% approval of the voters. I was paying attention to how it was being promoted, and I was fearing in my old thinking that how are they doing it? But then the day of the election, when I first looked at it, it was 72%. I said, oh my God, what have they done? But the acceptance by the community is here. Mm-hmm. And everyone that works in this institution should be proud of it.
You know, DACC seems to be constantly progressing and paving the way for the future. As you mentioned, computers, you know, and now computers are part of our everyday life. What do you both envision and hope to see for the future of DACC?
Growth. I have no idea in what direction. The greatest city building is taking place to the east, and I am going to imagine that the east area is going to grow dynamically, mm-hmm. because the growth over there. But not only that, you have White Sands on the other side. They're going to start utilizing more of our. The other thing is Hatch, Garfield, that area, that whole area needs somebody, because TRC doesn't offer anything, or wasn't offering, are they now? Mm-hmm. And we've already saturated the bottom part of the county. Well, I think maybe saturated is too bold a statement, but we're there, and we've got buildings there. Mm-hmm. And I remember when we had no buildings, and we had to borrow. The first one that I borrowed was an army barrack. And then Joe Lopez and I bought an army barrack, and we moved it into Anthony itself.
Wow.
So
the difference, the big difference after COVID is that everything can actually be done without the person showing up in a classroom. Mm-hmm. And we're going to experience more and more of that. Visually, you might not see the growth, but it is going to continue to grow. And, you know, we keep thinking that everything has to be brick and mortar, and it does not. It is just so different. And us individuals that didn't learn computing until after we retired, it's not easy for us to understand it, but it is here. My grandchildren use a computer way before they hardly can start talking, you know? Yeah. And that is our society.
Well, in my case, computing, David Valdez was my graduate assistant, and he had just come back from the Army, having served in Europe, and they were used to computers. We ordered computers. Said, you want me to teach you computing? I said, no way. See, these are passing fad. When David retired, he didn't have one computer in his office. He had 5 of them. So
I've got to give credit to the people that started the institution, but I'm going to give a little anecdote first. Dr. Rausch was the academic vice president and chief academic officer of the university under Dr. Thomas. And he once professed that, you know, it's going to happen. One day you're going to have something that you can hold in your hand, and it will be more powerful than the computers you find at White Sands. At that time, it was a 360 because I worked at White Sands, and we said, what is this futuristic idea? And lo and behold, my phone is more powerful than that computer that I used to load magnetic tapes and cards, and so it is, way beyond our vision, is what we are experiencing.
And we're trying every single day to keep up with the technology and make sure that the students have access to it and are able to utilize the advancements in technology at the same time. And it's come a long way. Gentlemen, it's been such a pleasure.
I have one more thing to
I
add.
absolutely would love to hear it.
We went into a partnership with Ciudad Lerdo, Durango, Mexico, with Cebetis Número 4. The influence we had on them is tremendous. We were not only teaching here, they were learning here. Their faculty, at one time, over 78% of their faculty had come for training at New Mexico State University and at the Donaciano Community College by shadowing. So we had a great influence in, they were using electric typewriters. We introduced them to computers. We introduced them to a number of things. Donny was one of the people that was instrumental in working with the people in Lerdo. So we look at it now and we say 15 years of partnership out of 40, out of 50. It's we had quite an accomplishment. I understand you're now hooked up with a German city.
Yes, with Neinberg, Germany, as
Yes.
well as their sister city. And so that is such an excellent point, that we are not just making advances in our community, we're also branching out within our relationships internationally as well.
If we want to look at it further, the Donaciano branch had a great influence on Hatch, on Sunland Park, on, what is the little one over the mountain?
Chaparral.
Chaparral.
Oh, okay.
We had a great influence there. They became educational areas while they were nothing before the Donaciano branch moved in.
Just so many different facets. It's so amazing to be a part of this college and to have you both here and talking to you. And so I'm very honored to have spoken with both of you. Thank you both so much, gentlemen. Dr. Patricio Quintana and Mr. Donny Gonzalez, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we will be back here on Campus Convos in January, so you enjoy your holiday season. Once again, I'm your host, Denise Lafranzo Hinaga.